Welcome to today's episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat. I'm Karen Scott Green. And I'm Kat Hardrick, and we're here today with my wonderful friend, Chef Hank Reed of Lettum Eat. And if anyone knows anything about Chef, he is a man of God. He loves his family, his beautiful wife, and all of his children. And he is a man who is serving the community. He believes that everyone should have food served with compassion, right? And I'm glad to know Chef Hank, and I've been working with him side by side. And I won't give him talk about him anymore. I'll let him do it all, honey, because he is a man that has a lot to share about what's going on great in the community and Gwinnett and the surrounding areas. So, Chef, I'll let you go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and what made you start Let 'em Eat.
Well, thank you, Karen and Kat. I appreciate you ladies shining a spotlight on what we have going on. I'd like to thank you both for just accepting this role and making sure that people in the community and in any way, any kind of media, that they know that there are people out here trying to help. We're not all takers. We try to
Yeah,
be givers. Some of us out here adding value instead of detracting from it.
that's right.
So thank you, ladies. I appreciate that.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
So I mean, I love to tell the story, but I had some people, tell me that that's a big part of being able to get support that a small nonprofit needs, and just in general, your business, whether it's for profit or nonprofit, you people don't buy your food, they don't buy these different things, they buy you. So it's
Absolutely.
important that you have a story. So, I never thought much of my Let 'em Eat story until I started developing it, and it was just natural. I mean, it came from somewhere. It wasn't just something that I said, "Well, hey, let me just try to do this."
Mhm.
I can truly say I can look back on my experiences in the food and beverage industry over 35 years and say all the good is nice, but the bad has been just as valuable. You
Mm.
know, the tough and difficult times have added more to me. And because I have such a strong relationship with God now, and understands that there's nothing about what I'm doing that He didn't design for me.
That's
That
right.
even though those tough, difficult things that I've been through, He had His hand on my shoulder the whole time, guiding me through that
Mm.
stuff. I mean, and it's been some bad stuff.
Right.
It's been some stuff that's had me grown, strong looking man down on my knees, just crying because I didn't know where to go or which direction to turn. And but it was a reason for that. He was showing me something in those experiences that I've been able to use now to great extent to be able to help people.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just kind of my feeling. Great relationship with God. I love my family, my wife Rachel, and my 5 grown children. 3 of them still in my house, but that's all good. We have to learn to think different than our parents did when they were
Yeah.
older. So if they need support, it's easier for me to support them under my roof than it is
That's
them
right.
out there and,
Yeah.
and having to take away,
That's
just
right.
having good conversations to encourage them.
Mm.
So I mean, we still got rules, but
Right, right, right.
it's a great experience. I love watching my kids interact with one another. They get up and the 3 of them go to the gym and they fuss the whole time about who's dragging their feet, every day. My youngest son Chase I have a 4-year-old grandson that I spend a lot of time with, and I love watching him be a dad.
Mhm.
And as much credit as he gives me, I was like, man, there is no way I'm as good a father as you are. And
Mhm.
it's amazing to watch him. My oldest son Devontae is a military veteran,
That's
and
right.
Kat, you know as well as I know out there in the world. But you know what? He popped up at my doorstep yesterday, Kat.
Oh, praise God. So he's,
Praise God.
oh, that's right. That's
Yep.
right.
So always praying for him. And then my 21-year-old triplet daughters, Nina, Naya, and Nia,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
they
Yeah, girl. Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah, they keep me loaded with just expectation.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I'm gonna have to marry them off or what, but they seem pretty content with sticking around their dad.
So
So
let them eat. Tell us what is let them eat
mhm.
and what you do with let them eat. Mhm.
Well, So Lettum Eat is a concept, an idea, a culmination of years of working in the restaurant industry, and it's basically a mantra or a statement I tell people. You know, you've heard stories about how difficult and challenging the restaurant industry is.
Mhm.
So you know, we're back of the house, we're the chefs, we're the prep cooks, we're all the people in the back, and then you know, there's always this rivalry between the front of the house and the back of the house. So we'd have the servers come to the back and say, "Where's my food?" And we're in the back, saying, "You'll get it when we get it ready." Well, I had to step up in my roles as executive chefs and general managers and lead better communication when it would come to stuff like that. And I would always train people in front of the house on proper ways to ask a question.
Mhm.
In other words, don't say where is my, say how long.
Right.
And in the back, it's the response is not, well, when I give it to you, the response is 1 minute, 2 minutes. Give them an
Right.
answer,
Mhm.
sweet short answer, so we can be more efficient. But there still were challenges there. So we would always say when we did our part in the back, we say let them eat.
Right. Okay.
So we're busy and stuff's going on, and once we get it done, we put the food in the window. We say let them eat.
Mhm.
That was our way of calling for service, calling for somebody coming up and picking this food up. And it took on many different meanings and definitions, but generally it was our pushback language to
Mhm.
just say, hey, we're ready, we're done.
Food's
It's
ready to be served.
yeah, ready to be served. So when I started the organization, I'm thinking about, okay, well, I know I want to help people. It really started kicking off with, throughout my years as a chef, it meant something different than it did a lot of people. I wasn't always about the making the fine food and making it beautiful. I mean, I could do all that stuff and I can
Mhm.
make good, tasty, delicious food, but it was always something else. I never saw myself in one restaurant after another one because I just never saw where that was going to get any different. I won't say better, but any different. It was going to be the same thing over and over. But I did enjoy when people appreciated and were satisfied by what I produced, either by my hands or by a staff's hand that I led. So that meant something to me, what I produced. So I get my exhilaration out of that. Well, I also knew that I worked in a lot of places that I couldn't even take my family to go eat in. We
Mm.
couldn't afford to eat at
Okay.
these places. And but it was my job and it was okay. But it started to not be okay. So there were some other things about the industry, and it wasn't about being a chef, but I wanted to write recipes and write the cookbooks and the cooking shows and do the interviews and all these different things. It was just always me when I really got into it, looking for how to diversify what my outcome was going to be in the restaurant industry.
Mhm.
So my job path was, you remember how when people used to interview you and say, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Mhm.
Well, in the back of my mind, it was not here
Right.
because if I got to be at your place for 5 years and I'm not growing, it's only so
Right.
much you're going to be able to show me.
Mhm.
And I knew in this industry, I needed to see what Houston's restaurant was doing, OK Cafe was doing, Blue Ridge Grill, Kudzu Cafe, uh, you know, Mix Cafe, Planet Hollywood, all these different places that I work. I needed to see what everybody was doing to build my credentials, my repertoire of being able to not only produce the food, but to be able to lead in the environment because it was so much more than just about food. It was about people.
Okay.
You know, when you go into a restaurant, you want to trust what you're going to get.
That's
So
right.
it's about building that trust. People feel as though when they go to Chick-fil-A, they trust that they're going to be consistent. They're going to get the same thing all the time.
Yep.
But when you go to these other places, you're kind of taking a shot in the dark. You don't trust that Arby's is going to do what they're supposed to do. You
Right.
don't trust that McDonald's and Burger King. You don't trust. You're just taking a shot in the dark. But when you go to Chick-fil-A, you chose to go there because, man, I know I go to Chick-fil-A. You even get mad about it sometimes because it's like, well, let me just go on to Chick-fil-A because that's the only place I'm gonna be able to get what I want.
Right. So
So
consistent.
so there's a trust element that you try to build, and that trust doesn't come from the product. That trust comes from the people.
Okay.
That trust comes from the leadership. So that's always been a big thing with me is that leadership aspect. What's the number one question people ask a chef when they meet them? What would you ask a chef? You meet a chef, what you ask? What's the first thing?
What's your specialty?
What's your specialty?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Can I
You
get
know,
that recipe?
now that it's public, I'll tell you right now, I hate that question.
Mm.
But my response is, now that I don't have to have, my response is leadership.
Okay.
What's your specialty? My specialty is leadership.
Right.
My specialty is being able to get people together to be able to build that trust so that you can appreciate and enjoy what it is we're offering.
That's right. And so what does Let Them Eat offer?
What Let Them Eat offers is food provisions. Our mission statement is mobile food provisions prepared with care and served with compassion to those in need. Mobile food provisions. So in other words, we're not sitting in a building waiting on people to come to us. Mm-hmm. We create mobile circumstances to be able to get these these meals closer to the need. The mission statement
taken to where the need is.
Taking it to where the need is. And the one thing I was getting at about what I appreciated most in these other restaurants and people enjoying it, I get just as much enjoyment feeding the people that I feed now than I did when I was at Sweet George's Juke Joint downtown across from the Ritz-Carlton. Just as much appreciation because number one, these people aren't critical. They need it. They want it. They appreciate it being there. That's right. And I don't get offended when, we're doing a distribution somewhere for months and all of a sudden we don't have people showing up. Well, hopefully we satisfied what their need was. So now it's time for us to mobilize and to go somewhere else.
Right. You want to put out a business because the need isn't there. Right. And speaking of being mobile, I think this is a good segue to show us where you are right now and show the community where you are right this second.
Oh, okay. So right now we're stationed or based out of Annistown Road Church down the lower end of Gwinnett County. I'm gonna get into all that. I got you. So right now I'm sitting inside what's going to be our second mobile food truck, our mobile vehicle. We were blessed with this bus from an organization that gave us this mini bus.
Oh, nice.
And we're converting it into a serving vehicle. So we're not going to be cooking in here, but basically we have
serving from there.
Yeah, we have a propane steam table for hot food. We're going to be adding tables. I installed this service window, so basically we'll be able to pull up. I go in and out of downtown a lot, and oftentimes when I'm leaving some of those locations, I'm seeing people on the sides of the road, sleeping in the alleys, in the corners. Mm-hmm. So it makes it easier for me to just pull over, hop out of my seat, come over here to this window, and serve up some meals.
Wow. Mm-hmm. How many people do you serve, and what
this is our second truck, and then right outside here is our first food truck. It's getting a good clean up now.
That's the truck I've seen.
Yep. So Alvin's taking care of that. Beverly's over there, making sure we get it all restocked. So that's our second truck. Mm-hmm. And just kind of give you an overview of our fleet. I'll take a little walk here. Okay. We have a 20-foot competition level smoker with fryers, flat tops, char grillers, things like that on it.
Wow, competition
we have
grade.
Our refrigerator.
What you were showing us your trucks, and my question was, how many persons are you serving in a given week? And what communities do you locate in to be able to serve?
So one of the things we do is we partner with a lot of different organizations to help our reach be able to spread out. During the pandemic, that first year, we were at 80,000 meals that first year. The second year of the pandemic, we were at 75. This year just passed because things have gotten a little better and we refined our approach. We want to make sure we're serving people that need the help, not necessarily throwing it out there for everybody to drive by or whatever and grab something because they don't feel like it'd be going to Burger King. Okay. Mm-hmm. But we did about 35,000 meals this year.
Okay.
And the majority of those meals were in partnership with the Gwinnett County Library. Okay. They come by twice a week and we prepare prepackaged frozen meals, microwavable meals for them. and they're picking up about 600 meals per week and taking them to 5 of their branches. They're going as far as Beaufort, they're in Norcross, Lawrenceville, Lilburn, and also in the Snellville area. So they basically go to these branches, and these people, they do a great job marketing for us and letting people know, and they do a tremendous amount of service work in the community.
Okay.
And the people go to the library and they pick up these meals.
Okay.
And some of our other work, we do a lot of work on the food truck. We go down to the Trinity Table. We partner with them at Trinity United Methodist Church on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
At least twice a month, we go down there and feed 150 people. And we also do work downtown Atlanta at Safe House on Ellis Street.
Okay.
So, we the approach I take is I can go out here hunting where to take stuff. And I know where some of these areas are in the extended stay motels and places like that. Mobile home communities, actually Valley Brook up here close to us, we do an after school program to where we take sandwiches and chips to the kids when they get off the school bus, and we pass those out right over here in Stone Mountain. So, we probably do about 100 kids a week over at that particular location. So our capacity is a lot greater, just judging from where we were during the pandemic. But now we really want to partner with people, and we have churches and organizations that'll come to us and say, hey, we want to do a meal distribution. We'd like to use your service, and we'll partner with them, and we'll do different things like that as well.
So it's more targeted now.
It's more targeted now, yes.
You have a relationship with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Department as well. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to drive around and number one, just know that law enforcement is focused on the community, and that the images that we've had of law enforcement over the past few years, that the sheriff's office is making a conscious effort to really reach into the community, and we partner a lot. And they do that through us. They do a lot of great work on their own, but again, being a small nonprofit organization focused on what we're focused on, it's nice to get the call from them every now and then to partner to do things, alongside them. We went to them about a year ago with a concept we had about ready to care bags. And, they already had something kind of like that in their program, to where the police cars had something. If they saw somebody homeless or whatever, that they could at least give them something, with some emergency
what's in the ready
provisions
to
in
care
it.
bags?
So our ready to care bags basically have toiletries in them, soap, shampoo, sanitizer. We have the little micro blankets. We try to get hats and socks and gloves in the wintertime in them. And, basically the concept behind ready to care bags is, a lot of us see people in the community that need help, but we don't have it. We don't carry cash.
Yeah.
So my idea behind our ready to care bags, and we actually use them as a fundraiser, is put it in your car. So if you see somebody, then all you got to do is reach behind your seat and say, here,
hand them a bag.
Right. If you got $10 you want to stick in your bag, so that you can give them something in addition. But that's the whole idea behind our concept of a ready to care bag. Of course, we want to go out to events and give them out. But I want the community to know that these things are available. So, like, again, they can just keep it in their car. They see somebody that needs some help. They're not scrambling around for cash because people just don't carry it. I want to help, but I don't have anything. That bag right there will go a long ways in having some, peanut butter and crackers in them, and, some soap and toothpaste or something like that to just kind of sustain them for the moment. That's one of the biggest things I've seen while when I started this, back in 2019, was that a lot of even larger organizations, they want to help, but sometimes people feel like, well, I can't put everybody in a hotel room. Right. Well, yeah, you might not be able to put everybody in a hotel room, but some people just need a safe place to park for the night. They need to not be run off with their kids in the car that's got to get up and go to school the next day. They want to be able to be somewhere safe. And as much as it may break your heart, a step in the right direction is better than not taking a step at all.
That's right. That's right. So how can people partner with you, Chef, and help you volunteer-wise or donations and so forth? How can people help you?
Well, again, we're a business. and it takes money to be able to do what we're doing. We serve free
Amen.
meals to our clients and the people that receive our benefits. They never pay for a meal, but I think people confuse that with the meals don't cost money. So,
Nothing's
you
free.
know, yeah, let me clarify that now. And I work with a lot of organizations that understand that. Matter of fact, I'm going to Safe House uh, tomorrow and partnering with Hope Through Soap, organization that does mobile showers. Well, whenever
Mm,
they can, they call us up and we go down
okay.
and we provide meals and they do showers, but they
Okay.
pay for them.
Mhm.
They sponsor the meals. So our website is www.lettumeat.com/donation or /donate is where you can go to make a financial contribution. But bigger than any of that, we need prayers.
That's right.
We want people that are prayerful to pray for us and our mission and what we're doing, because this is me for the rest of my life. I don't intend on going back into another restaurant or doing anything else. Let them eat exists whether I'm feeding 600 people or six.
Mm.
If I have to feed them out of my house, I'm doing Let them eat's work. So it's going to
This is your
happen either
ministry.
way. This is
This
my
is your
ministry.
ministry. Mhm.
So, and I tell people all the time, partnerships are important. Uh, this work shouldn't be done alone. Anybody that wants to know how to do this, pick up the phone and call me. I'll tell you what my journey is. And if you can help five people or 500, then I want to help you be able to do
Mhm.
that. It's not a competition. It's not about who can get out here and do the most or do it first. All of these ideas and concepts are what keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
It's what lets me know that if I'm not being selfish and hoarding over the ideas and the concepts and the money or any of that stuff, God is going to continue to provide what is needed in order to be able to take care of the
Absolutely.
people. You
Absolutely.
know.
If I can say anything with working alongside you, Chef, and thank you for that honor and privilege, because um, I'm doing my part. And I love the
Mm-hmm.
fact that God has reconnected, because it's funny, I used to live in the same neighborhood that Chef lives in now, and just reconnecting. But being next to someone who believes in God and believe in your mission, I can't tell you how many times I've called Chef and said, "Hey, I got somebody who needs some food." He was like, "Okay, swing by, we're gonna load them up." And just drop everything, go by the church, go by his and get food
Mm-hmm.
and go feed our veterans. And he is passionate about every single person, our veterans, our young people, our seniors, just any human being who is in need. He's ready to help them. And this isn't a show. This isn't a game. This isn't who he is. Right, right. And that's why I'm thankful to be a part of Let Them Eat. I got on our conversations with cat logo, but
Mm-hmm.
I rock my Let Them Eat. You know what I'm saying? And it's just really a place that if you need a place to serve, come and check out Let Them Eat. And,
Mm-hmm.
and so with that, if folks, do you need volunteers? Because I heard you talk about the donations. Donations are good too.
Mm-hmm.
But volunteering, how can folks volunteer and assist you with your mission?
Well, they can send us an email or go to the website, lettemeat.com. There's a
Okay.
volunteer tab on the page to where, and Kat has been instrumental in making sure, number one, some of the hardest things to do when you say have a skilled set in what you do is like, I don't necessarily need everybody coming to cook,
Okay.
you
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell people all the time, some of this stuff, it's hard to ask people to come clean. But guess what? If I don't clean up these spaces that people are blessing me with, I ain't gonna be here long.
That's right.
So those kind of things are needed. And I had some people that step in and they make sure like, hey, don't worry about that. Last thing we want is for somebody hassling you. So we're gonna take care of that.
That's
And then some of the other skill sets, like one of the things I like to ask people now is, what do you do? What is
right.
your strength?
Okay.
Because I'm in a situation now to where we're getting ready to expand our services, and I need an architect. But everywhere I turn, I got to pay these architect prices
Mm.
to be able to do what I need. But it's
Yeah.
important for me to grow. We're on the cusp of opening 3 modular production kitchens and spreading them out throughout the county. But I need images drawn up so that I can raise money to build them out and do these things. I need attorneys. I need accountants.
What you
I
need
need
attorneys to do?
bookkeepers.
What you need attorneys
Just to keep me on the straight and narrow. I was about to say keep me out of jail. I hope I ain't nowhere close to that.
to
But the bottom line is every good organization that's trying to grow and do something, they have that level of support. And it's not about me, it's about this organization, and what we're doing deserves that oversight,
Okay.
deserves that support. And that's whatever a big organization and a nonprofit is getting, Let Them Eat needs the same thing.
Okay. You
You
know
know,
what?
we're looking for the same thing.
And before we let you go, I do want you to speak to your opinion with the downfall of so many small businesses. You have over 30 years of experience, and I'm sure you've seen the ups
Mm-hmm.
and downs. What advice would you give to new people coming out into the restaurant industry, trying to get a food truck, and you see folks open up restaurants and then they don't last long and then they're going under? What do you see, one, could be the issue, and two, what would be your solution?
But I'm gonna tell you, that's a whole nother show, but I'm gonna give you the short of it. Okay. The short of it is understanding who your clientele is and who you're serving, and doing your research. You know, I get so many people that I just like to cook.
Right.
Or, and the first thing I ask them, well, have you ever been in the industry? And they'll say, well, no. And they're waiting on me to hit them in the head. Well, what business do you have trying to do something you ain't never? I'm not going to tell you that. But what I am going to tell you is you need to pay attention to what your clientele is, because if you coming to me and telling me that, you got your grandmother's best fried chicken recipe,
right.
but you're in a community with a bunch of families and kids, and these kids just want some French fries, and you mad because you selling more fries than that fried chicken, then you ain't gonna stay in business.
Right.
You have to understand what it is you need to keep the lights on and to pay your bills. And you can't get offended if it ain't what you thought it was. You have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to adjust and be okay with it. And then the second thing about that is, even with me, from my standpoint now, and I tell people all the time, I have a great chef. My guy, Chef Alvin. Alvin cooks all the food. All right, I ain't afraid to tell you that. But I'll say this: I miss being able to put my hands on it sometimes, and I've cried about it sometimes, and I felt left out sometimes, because what they say, big baby want to shoot, chefs want to cook too. you know, so I want to be involved in putting my hands on it, but my main focus is to grow my organization. And if you think you're a chef and you want to start a food truck and you want to do this, and you're out there flying solo and you don't have the money in the bank to really see what you need to do, you're gonna be doing a whole lot less cooking than you thought.
Right.
You're gonna be paying bills and paying insurance and making sure this is in place and working on schedules and calendars and organization. And by the time you start cooking, that love you had for it, it might not quite be the same, because you got so much other stuff going on. So you got to look at the levels. Don't jump into a food truck and think you're going to leave your job and pay your bills and keep your wife and family happy and all that kind of stuff. Right. I will tell you how it challenges your marriage. I will tell you how you're perceived and how you feel when you're failing. And financially there are struggles. I can tell you all of that. And I will tell you that, but I want to tell you so that you know it doesn't discourage people from wanting to get into it. But it's like, hey, let's really think about everything and figure out how we're going to get from concept startup to success, and understanding what success is for you.
That's right.
Okay. Success ain't the same thing for everybody. And if you think the success is in money all the time, you need enough to do what you need to do. But if you're trying to go from driving a beat up Volvo to a Mercedes, then you might have some problems there.
Right. Well, it sounds like we definitely need to have you back when we have our business week expo.
Yes.
So we can
Let's
get
do it.
tools. Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Chef, for coming out and sharing your experience. And we will continue to pray for you and continue to partner with you. And do you have any upcoming events you want to share before we let you go?
Well, we are partnering with a great young, beautiful community leader, Miss Catherine Hardwick for her second annual Martin Luther King event
Martin
at
Luther
Lenora
King.
Park. We're going to have a great event this year. Gwinnett Chat Outreach will be there. The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office will be there. And Lettum Eat will be there providing hot meals. And we got these ready to care bags for all the people coming through. We got some coats, socks, and hats and stuff going on. So that's going to go off on Saturday at 12 o'clock at Lenora Park. As I mentioned before, we'll be at Safe House Outreach tomorrow with Hope Through Soap. We will be at Trinity United Methodist Church on Sunday morning down there feeding those great people and taking care of them. Working with Corners Outreach. I tell people I took off second week in December, and this is every year. So don't look for Chef Hank, second week in December through the second week in January. That's 4 weeks.
That you're doing your thing. That's your family time. That's right.
That's family time. I'm honey-do lists and stuff around the house, all that kind of stuff. But it's needed, and I don't feel bad about it because Chef Hank and Lettum Eat, we roll all year long.
Okay.
And during the holidays is when everybody else wanna, raise money and do certain. And
Let them do that.
I
You
appreciate
take your time off.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
take my time off while everybody else out there getting it done.
How do you take care of your mental health? I keep saying I'm gonna let you go.
How I take care of my mental health?
Yeah, when you get stressed, what's your go-to thing to make sure you decompress so you continue to be out here doing the work? That's my last question. I'm for real.
Well, I'm a grown up, so I like to relax and watch my basketball games and have a good single malt.
Okay.
And but outside of that, it's really just slowing myself down, having good conversations with God, talking to my family and friends, and I talk to myself a lot. I don't know because I would like to talk. I like to talk stuff through, and I like working. Yeah, I like working with my hands. When I don't get, I like building stuff, and so those kind of things really keep me grounded. We want to create, and we want to see something finished or something done or something that's productive or something that people appreciate. And just like I said about the cooking all the time, I don't get to do that as much. So sometimes I'm out building a fence or cutting on some metal or learning how to weld or doing stuff like that. So all of that is paramount in my mental health, just being balanced and not being stuck doing the same thing all the time. I don't care whether it's Lettum Eat or what it is, it's being able to diversify. But it is my hope one day that I get to travel more, and that's my fault because I'm just scared. I guess I don't step up and do what I need to do.
Get over that. There's a big old world out there. Get into it.
I know.
Pray
I
on
want to be in
God
it.
will show you.
I want to be in it. I don't mind doing it, but it's just like it's always I stop myself, so I need to stop.
Okay. Pray. Gotta show you the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna see you on Saturday because I'm gonna be out there.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll come reintroduce myself to you.
Well, I think I remember you now.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ladies.
For this episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat, where we are impacting the world one conversation at a time. Bye.
Bye.